Hey, what's up, travelers? So, today I'll be talking about a subject that might irk some of y'all scientific, narrow minded people, and this is why I think you're dumb and unaligned for not believing in astrology. I'm gonna develop a little bit deeper into that. And just, it works, guys. I tried it. I feel it. No, 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 no. One thing you have to understand is that whether you're completely intuitive and not logical, or completely logical and not intuitive, if you're on both of the extremes and not really trying to go and center both parts of yourself, you're going to be a really stupid people and you're going to be left out of a lot of things. Women might think you're not sensitive or emotional or understanding enough. You might be like, oh, I can't understand women, like, what the fuck? Or you might be like, oh no, these people are, it's too complicated, I don't like mathematics. No, both sides of the spectrum have to be joined together if you want to understand life as a whole. Or you're always going to be unbalanced. You're always going to be pushing your part of the extremity and really never come into a place where you truly feel balance between both parts of yourself. Now, I'm going to be focusing on astrology mainly because this is what I do, but this isn't really the way I'm approaching it because it's not about believing in astrology, it's not about believing in this or that. It's about knowing that you are reflected in your surroundings and that your surroundings reflect you. It's a deep understanding that nature is part of us, that we're part of nature. It's not I'm alive. It's life is within you, and life is within everything that you experience. And it's the same fucking life. It's just experienced through different vessels. So once you know that, you cannot really separate yourself. It's not even about studying astrology because it's the only true science or it's the only way to know the cosmos. No, it's about recognizing yourself within everything. And it just happens so that astrology is a very complex and mathematical science, so there's actually a logical side to it as much as there's an intuitive side to it. I mean, you're mapping the sky. It's astronomy brought down to a certain interpretation where you interpret it through your feelings and intuition. So you might be like, oh, like this is just woo sparkle dust magic or whatever, but you're still lost, dude. You're always gonna go towards the logical, so you're never truly gonna come to something that feels good. And the same thing for someone who just believes it's all magic and it's just the planets ruling you. No, no, no. It's just the geometry in the sky is the same as the geometry in your cells. Like, this is normal mathematics. If you're just looking at like the birth of a star, the death of a star, it's the same thing as the birth of a cell. So once you kind of start to know that, it's really interesting to see just how far it can go. As much as you can look at the patterns in the sky, which are so huge compared to us, probably really small compared to something way bigger than us, but the patterns in the sky and the planets just look so big to us. But when you look at what's smaller than us, the same kind of pattern is reciprocated. So once you know that this pattern, and I'm approaching it from the logical side right now, just so I can kind of like try to get at some of y'all. Once you know that the patterns just repeat themselves like that, you can actually go by the law of analogy and see how it plays out in the patterns of your life. And this is valuable not only for astrology. Like, I like astrology because it's a really complex science, but I understand that some of y'all logical folks might not be intelligent enough to actually look into it. You think you know better. But the same kind of process can be done with anything. You could read like your fucking fate, or you could read what's inside of you just on like the back of a milk carton or something. When you're really perceptive, you just notice the omens, or you just notice everything that you must know in your surroundings. It's not about believing in something. Belief deals with like irrationality. It's about knowing what you're about and knowing that the universe just is a reflection of that. Like, I don't know how I could make it clear to you. But yeah, this is why I think you're dumb for not believing in astrology. Even if you don't want to study it, which is completely fine, I won't judge you for that. You have to realize that you calling it out like that, or you being such having such this logical elitism about it just shows me that you're unaligned. It just makes it really easy for me to be superior to you in an intuitive way, because I know you're just playing in one field of your consciousness. So if I know how to play in both, I'm always going to be in front of you. And it's not about creating like a pyramid, a hierarchy or something, you know? It's just about making you realize that, dude, you're behind. Life is advancing, and what is changing in this era is as much our beliefs and stuff as it is our knowing in our own self, in our own power of creativity, in our own creation of this matrix. It's not about studying something that someone says and just being like, oh, like, he's the source of truth. No, it's about creating out of your own sense of truth what you feel your experience should be. It's about being that experience, and by being in it, you see what other beings are. You see what already is around you, and you're then able to make analogies with what you are and what's happening, and then you understand a bigger part of the equation of life. I hope that kind of makes sense to you. I hope I was able to just start a little bit of fire like that, because some of y'all are just so stubborn. You're so lost. You think you're understanding the human psyche or the human psychology through actually like reading books and trying to see like the physics behind it. But the psychology is just the logic of the psyche. If you're not living in your psyche, how could you even dare say you comprehend it? You don't know shit, dude, if you just like that. You know, you have to live in your own psyche, trying to see what your subconscious tells you, and then just go with your logical, rational understanding. What tells you that your initial axioms are actually the good ones to get to a logical understanding of things? What tells you that this is the right thing? You're starting from a field of non-understanding, not feeling, not being the experience itself, and you're trying to describe the experience. You're always going to be an outsider, where you have to be an outsider and an insider at the same time if you truly want to merge a whole fucking thing together. Does that make sense? Do you understand? I don't give a fuck really if you don't. It's just trying to make the fucking consciousness move forward, and you're just holding it back by holding on one side of the spectrum. People are always going to be pulling on one side more than the other. That's what being human is, and that's how we actually balance the spectrum as a whole. But the more we try to center ourselves, the more people will see that the center of it, between intuition and logic, between yin and yang, between left and right brain, however you want to see it, however, which density or which you want to bring it down to, the more people will realize that being in the center between both extremities is what's actually being balanced, the more people will go towards it. So, wake the fuck up, man. So,